To finish up our discussion on the pathogenesis of Parkinson's disease, we're just going to look a little bit at some theories around its progression. So one of the hypotheses around the progression of Parkinson's disease, although this theory has come under fire lately, is that Parkinson's disease begins possibly by a virus or something that we breathe in or swallow. And that takes it down into the stomach, which then somehow infects the enteric nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. So the idea is, around this theory, is that the disease actually starts away from the brain. And what happens over time is the disease or whatever happens, that the neuron death somehow moves up the spinal cord. And it slowly moves up into the medulla oblongata, it moves up here into the pons, and then finally it hits this midbrain region, which is what we're talking about here, which is the substantia nigra. So that is the part of the brain that is associated with voluntary motor function. And this is where they find that most of the neurons have died by the time that a clinical diagnosis is made. What is interesting here, and I've alluded to this before, is that the Lewy bodies, which are a hallmark of Parkinson's disease, are found throughout the body along nerves, in the enteric nervous system, in the vagus nerve, and up the spinal cord. And of course, there are a lot found here. What also seems to happen if the disease goes on long enough, or somebody lives long enough, is the disease starts to affect the cortex. And so, again, there's a theory that this could be a virus. There's also a theory that's like a prion. And so somehow, perhaps they're thinking the alpha-synuclein, once it becomes a beta sheet, somehow can trigger other alpha-synuclein molecules to form these aggregates, and thus sort of cause this cascade of toxicity that occurs in the nervous system. Ultimately, the end result of the pathogenesis, at least for the motor system, is that the neurons in the substantia nigra are affected. And I wanted to show this because I just think it's a really good picture of something that's going on, and how they know that these neurons are affected. So this is just a diagram of a brain, and we're seeing the substantia nigra that's blown up. And in someone without Parkinson's disease, what you see are these sort of red or dark marks here in the substantia nigra. And that's basically a melatonin, and it's a pigment, and it's associated with these dopaminergic neurons. However, with someone in Parkinson's disease, that pigment is basically gone. And so this is what people will look for when they're doing an autopsy, is to take a look at the pigment levels here in this part of the brain.